and welcome to my Action Research Project presentation, Incorporating Nature. In this presentation, I'm going to break it down into two sections, Section A and Section B. Section A is going to be what I had planned to do for my action research and why, and Section B is going to be a review on 5 other action research projects that have similar topics to my own. In hopes to learn about the action research process and a little bit more about the topic in which I was interested in studying in the first place. The more time I spend developing my own teaching philosophy, the more I have found myself thinking critically concerning the current institutional systems and mainstream practices surrounding education. When reflecting on my time spent on my practicum placement last year, as well as reflecting on my own experiences within the Ontario school system, I have come to believe that the traditional classroom setting is not always conducive to student development and well-being. The ways in which schools and classrooms are structured, and the style in which many teachers deliver the curriculum has evolved little in the last century and remain firmly rooted in authoritarianism and from a very Euro-Western frame and perspective. From my own anecdotal observations, many of the progressive ideas discussed within the Bachelor of Education program and even within the Ontario curriculum are absent in many classroom settings. We know our students come from unique backgrounds and have diverse learning needs. Many students are lacking in areas of confidence, self-esteem, self-awareness, self-sufficiency, and belongingness. These shortcomings manifest themselves in many ways in the classroom, from students being distracted and uninterested, students acting out inappropriately, and struggling academically. I believe that many of these students are being done a disservice and they are unable to prosper within the traditional classroom settings. My developing interest in progressive school models has led me to discover models such as Forest School, which stresses the importance of outdoor education and has made me question how the physical set and setting of traditional schools might affect My developing interest in progressive school models has led me to discover models such as Forest School, which stresses the importance of outdoor education and has made me question how the physical set and setting of traditional schools may affect students' cognitive, physical, and emotional development. Children and adults spend less and less time outdoors than ever before. How does this crumbling bond with nature and our environment affect ours and our students' mental, physical, and spiritual health? Studies have shown that recurring exposure to natural outdoor settings and environmental education programs may be widely effective in reducing symptoms of ADHD, decreasing stress levels, enhancing student social development, and much more. The purpose of this action research project is to determine whether students would benefit holistically from reoccurring outdoor learning within a natural outdoor setting. And the research question I had hoped to answer was, if I changed the setting in which I led my class to one that is a natural outdoor setting at least once a week, would it help support and nurture students' emotional state and overall well-being? And how might this affect their academic success? The context of my action research project is based on my practicum experience last year and as if it was taking place in that classroom setting. The placement and research will take place at a school in a small township in Northern Ontario within a grade 6-7 class of 25 students. A large forested area is located behind the schoolyard where weekly to bi-weekly lessons will take place, necessary for the action research. The different roles filled by participants through the conduction of the research will be the teacher candidate / researcher, myself, associate teacher, the education assistant, and the 25 students of the class. The associate teacher and education assistant will accompany the class on any outdoor excursions, but will not need to fulfill any duties outside of their regular responsibilities to the students and myself as a teacher candidate. The students are of the most importance to the action research, as it is their attitudes concerning the learning and education that is ultimately being measured. Students with independent education plans for ADHD and other learning disabilities will be noted to see how they may benefit from outdoor learning opportunities. I, as the researcher, teacher candidate, and administrator of the research, also play a fairly significant role in the Action Research project. Not only will I be collecting and analyzing the data, but will also be planning, implementing, and adapting lessons and activities to be carried out by myself as a teacher within the outdoor classroom. The physical setting that the research will take place is of utmost importance and relevance to the study. The research question asks how changing the space in which we teach from one that is almost always indoors, with students confined to desks, to one that is outdoors, surrounded by nature, may impact students' cognitive, physical, and emotional development, and how these changes may affect their academic and student achievement. To complete my Action Research project, classes would be held once or twice a week for either full or half days in the forested area behind the school. As the teacher planning lessons for the students, I would plan out the week and design X number of lessons to be taught in an outdoor and natural setting, without the need for technology such as the smartboard or classroom computers. Lessons would often take advantage of the setting and elements of nature as teaching tools. Students may be asked to join in quiet meditation before lessons, or students may be invited to walk and move around during a think, pair, share. Subjects such as science, art, and phys ed lend themselves well to outdoor learning. However, other subjects such as math and language can often be adapted to work well in a natural setting too. The environment often facilitating more concrete representations of problems. To collect data, I plan on using plenty of anecdotal evidence. I will observe students' behavior and participation in the traditional classroom as well as in the forested classroom, and make notes of any discernible changes in students' attitudes, demeanor, and work ethic within the new environment. I also plan on providing the students with a survey at the end of my practicum block to gather data concerning their personal thoughts and feelings on their part-time forest classroom experience. To address triangulation and to gain more insight into the effects of my study, I will also interview the associate teacher and educator assistant about any behavioral changes in the students they may have observed during the outdoor class sessions. The associate teacher and educator assistant will be valuable resources considering they will have more experience working with and getting to know each individual student, and therefore are more likely to notice any positive or negative changes in behavior. I have conducted library-based research into other Action Research projects that are complementary to the research I had originally arranged to complete myself. I will provide a brief summary description of each of the articles, the question that each of them hope to answer, as well as an excerpt from each of the article's abstracts, which will be found in the bottom right corner of each slide. After that, we will compare each of the project's methods, findings, implications, and next steps. A thorough analysis of each Action Research project will demonstrate different elements regarding the benefits of nature-based programming on student development, and they will also give us an in-depth look at the Action Research process. The first study I examined, a comparative study of the impacts and students' perceptions of indoor and outdoor learning in the science classroom, looked to answer the questions: how does indoor and outdoor learning impact student success in science? And what are students' perceptions concerning the integration of outdoor and indoor learning in science? The second article I chose to examine was titled Traditional Adventure Activities in Outdoor Environmental Education. Its purpose was to seek out the answers to the questions: what is it about climbing and paddling experiences that shapes the nature of learning for students and or their sense of connection with the place? And how can adventure activities be facilitated to enhance their potential contribution to outdoor environmental education? The next article was titled Learning Outdoors, the Forest School Approach, and looked to answer the question: how does forest school impact the children who participate? The fourth research article, Green Schoolyards as Outdoor Learning Environments, Barriers and Solutions as Experienced by Primary School Teachers, looked to answer the questions: what are the barriers experienced by teachers who wish to realize outdoor learning in the green schoolyard, and what solutions do they find supportive in overcoming these barriers? And the last article we will look at is titled Calm, Active, and Focused: Children's Responses to an Organic Outdoor Learning Environment. This research looked to answer what outdoor garden elements the staff and children would most like to see in the development of a new outdoor play area, and how the children responded to the new natural and organic features. The process and methods vary from one action research project to another. To me, the most valuable data directly improve a teacher's practice. The best examples of this from the articles I reviewed are found in Green Schoolyards as outdoor learning environments, Barriers and Solutions as experienced by primary school teachers, and also in Calm, Active, and Focused, Children's Responses to an Organic Outdoor Learning Environment. In Green Schoolyards as outdoor learning environments, data was collected in the form of evaluation forms and action planning forms, collected by the teachers involved in improving their own practice. And in Calm, Active, and Focused, Children's Responses to an Organic Outdoor Learning Environment, data was first collected from students in the form of drawings and photographs of what elements were most important to them in the development of the new natural space. The data directly influenced the design and materials used in the construction of the Green Schoolyard. Data was then collected by the educators regarding student responses to the new features. It appears that each of the articles returned results that confirmed and reinforced their previously held opinions and perceptions regarding the benefits of outdoor learning on children's development. Outlined below is a summary of the discussions and interpretations of results found within each action research article. Many of the findings from the research conducted returned positive results, akin to what I had expected to find through my own research study. In a comparative study of the impacts and students' perceptions of indoor and outdoor learning in the science classroom, students obtained higher test results after the outdoor lesson in comparison to the indoor lesson. In learning outdoors, the forest school approach, forest school educators recorded improvements over time in students' social skills, language, confidence, motivation, concentration, and physical skills, and concluded that the positive changes that occurred in students highlight the need for repeated and regular contact with nature, especially for children who do not have regular access to nature. Many implications are expressed through each of the 5 action research articles. For this presentation, I decided to focus on the implications for the teaching process and the suggested next steps from the authors, which is organized in this chart. Danapol and Lim suggest that both outdoor and indoor learning contexts be provided by educators, as it supports diverse learning opportunities for students. In the article Learning Outdoors, the Forest School Approach, they suggest that forest school be integrated into the routine of schools, allowing a range of students to benefit, and that outdoor learning can be an important supplement to classroom learning. One author encourages educators to become aware of the essential role of nature in children's well-being and development, and to advocate for natural and organic early childhood environments. Overall, each of the research articles imply that educators incorporate more of their instruction within natural outdoor environments. My analysis of the 5 different outdoor education-based articles gave me great insight into the process of conducting an action research project. My inquiry into each article also provided an abundance of information regarding the many benefits that outdoor learning has on children's cognitive, physical, and emotional development, something I had hoped to find through my own action research project. I look forward to one day using action research in my own classroom to improve my own practice and potentially contribute toward positive systemic change within the education system. Thanks for listening to my presentation, and enjoy the rest of your day.